right, so call the meeting to order. Good evening. This is the Village of Lake Bluff Architectural Board Review, a special meeting that's some virtual and some real. You decide. So call to order and roll call.
Okay. Member Kerouac.
Here.
Member Callahan.
Here.
Member Dahlman.
Here.
And Chair Hunter.
Yes.
And members Waymeyer and Dittmer are absent, so we have a quorum of 4.
Okay. I'll say it, we have a non-agenda items for any visitors that would be out in the audience that have, would like to make a comment on something that's not on the agenda, so speak. You got anybody there?
No one there, and I don't see anyone on Zoom either.
Okay, so nothing there, so let's go to the minutes of May 4th. Anybody have any comments, corrections, changes?
I have no comments.
Tim?
No comments.
Nothing, okay, so,
Sorry.
Neil?
I move approval of both sets of minutes.
Second.
Okay, on roll call.
Okay. Member Callahan.
Aye.
Member Kerouac.
Aye.
And Member Dahlman.
Aye.
And Chair Hunter.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries.
Okay, next is the minutes of the May 18th special meeting. Same question, any comments, discussion about anything on there?
The motion we had was for approval of both sets of minutes.
Boy, you're rolling, okay. Second on that,
Second.
roll call?
Okay. Member Callahan.
Aye.
Member Kerouac.
Aye.
Member Dahlman.
Aye.
And Chair Hunter.
Aye,
Okay, motion carries.
okay. All right, get to the meat of the meeting, the meat of the meeting, right?
Right.
All right, discussion regarding landscaping near fountain at Village Hall at 40 East Center Avenue. Mike or Drew or somebody want to lead in on that, or do you?
Just from a high level, this is, you all saw the brick portion of the first gift of this project that's associated with the Lake Bluff 125 celebration. Should say Lake Bluff 25 plus 1, right? But the first part was the gift of the bricks, and that was installed and can be enjoyed now. And the second half of the gift is by a different provider. This is by Mariani Landscaping, a Lake Bluff business. Actually designed and installed the landscaping that's in front of Village Hall today. And their gift to the greater Lake Bluff community is this installation of the plantings you see here, with one exception. There's a dashed line in the north side of the drawing that's just to the, I guess, the north and west side of the fountain. That is something that was originally not part of the gift, but they provided a design for this that the village has the choice of installing later this year. But really, the landscaping is all part of the same theme. It's consistent with and complementary to the existing plantings at Village Hall and other areas within the Central Business District, and the palette they drew upon was that. They understood the goal for any landscaping that would be under the care of the village would need to be low maintenance, and that's what they put together to the best of their ability. They also tried to keep it low in scale so as to not completely obscure the fountain area, even though that's pretty much at footpath level, doesn't sit up very high. But I think the tallest plantings included in this plan are about 3 feet in height. And talking with Colleen, the designer from Mariani today, who couldn't be with us tonight, she described that they would have to amend the soil within that circle area, and on the side closest to the fountain, that they would have a slight, maybe she said like 6-inch rise in the middle there for as part of this plan, but generally it would be at grade. You can see how the plantings get integrated with the existing landscaping. I don't know if you walked in today, you may have saw that painted line showing where they're gonna change the bed shape at about, I don't know, was that 4:30 or 4 o'clock on the dial if you're using this as a clock. And then the goal would be to, if this plan is accepted, they would install as soon as the week of June 21st.
Wow.
Mike Croak and I had some conversations earlier today about the planting on the north side. That's the optional area by the village. There's some existing evergreens that kind of have really served their function. One of them, as part of this, would be removed. The rest of that plant material would actually stay and would be supplemented by this additional material here that they're showing on the north side.
Okay. That's a pretty generous gift.
It is, indeed.
Tim, you're the
Okay,
local landscape rep.
here we go. So we're just dealing with this area here, or
It's
everything?
everything that you see.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, my first thought is, I thought we were just talking about this because
Yeah.
that was listed, but, in this area that I was looking at, it looked like it was a little bit too many plants, like maybe twice as many as what you really needed. That's just me. You know, I know that you like to have a lot of impact right away. So sometimes they kind of bunch them up a little bit closer than what they really need to be. So then also, I was looking at like the hydrangea quickfire. That's gonna get, I believe, about 6 to 8 feet tall. So I don't know if that's gonna fit underneath the tree when you limb it up. That might be a little bit too much, and I don't really have the drawing to scale to see like how far apart they're gonna be planted, but they get 6 to 8 feet wide too, so that might be a little bit much. And then like the Grolo sumac, too much. You can plant those 3 feet apart and they'll grow together. You know, I guess I'd like to see more native plants incorporated into it, but if you guys are kind of working off the palette of what is in the village right now, I can see that.
Yeah.
And then irrigation wise, is there anything gonna happen with that?
So right now, it would be, they're submitting actually a proposal to get the plants established early on that the
Okay.
village may elect to do in addition to whatever plant, watering work we would do on our own,
Okay.
but to get it established.
I mean, I don't think you necessarily need like drip irrigation or an irrigation system, but you do need to have somebody there hand watering then all, you know, to get it established. And then as far as like maintenance, that'd just be ongoing, right?
Yes, yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think, you know, this is a gift, and the idea, you know, I understand the idea is that a lot of plant material in initial, more than you would if you were gonna do it on your own. I'm not an expert in this, and if they're
Yeah.
willing to give, you know,
Yeah, I mean, if it's a gift, it's a gift, I guess.
yeah. Yeah, as far as that, limbing up the one evergreen and putting in that shrub, yeah, I don't know if Colleen's intentions were to try to trim that and keep that underneath that, or let it go, because we did talk about actually removing both of the evergreens.
Yeah, and that actually might be a good idea.
And her worry was exposing what's behind it, which is the trash enclosure
Saw that,
for the
yeah.
Center Avenue Partners building. And
Yeah.
so that was I think, why she was looking to hold on to that, at least for the near term.
Okay,
But the same concerns were brought up.
yeah.
Is that it? So far?
Pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Matt, what do you think?
You know, I had the same, if it feels like there's just you know, if you kind of think about it, there's just so much going on. I mean, it'd be like if I designed a house with like eight gables, you know, 20 different, it's just a lot of information, a lot of plants. And this is way beyond my level of expertise, but I just know in terms of, to Tim's point, I know when we do landscaping for my projects, you got to look at not as they're planted, but what happens in 3 years.
Yeah.
And we got to allow that. So it may look sparse for 2 years, but it's going to allow the plants to be the way they want to be. You know, if they want to be 3 feet wide, you should allow them to be 3 feet wide, but put a third, you know, less than what you have. I feel here, it just feels like they're putting them in, and they're going to get amazing first year impact, and then after that, they're just gonna be a maintenance nightmare.
Yeah.
So that's and again, it's beyond, I can't swear by anything I'm saying in terms of knowing exactly how everything's gonna interact. It just seems, if I look at this diagram, on such a small space, you have, 12 different plants in one little area. I'd rather see less amount of plants done in a nice, kind of more
Right.
conservative way. I think that's a bigger impact than to have truly, a smorgasbord of plants throughout the space.
Right. And it looks like they're using 1 gallon pots for the annuals, or for the perennials. So that, those are large sized plants. So it's not like you're starting with,
No, I'm sure they wouldn't mind being told, a lesser volume of material
I
and
know.
give it room to grow. It's
Yeah.
not, yeah.
yeah.
Because frankly, that's what we've replaced some of the plant material as it's aged out in
Right.
front of Village Hall. And so
Yeah.
there's some negative space, if you will, in
Yeah.
there. So the idea
Yeah.
of being consistent with that.
Yeah, and negative space
Yeah.
is great, I think, in landscaping. I think you should see some between each,
Yeah.
for me, that's, if it's just a quilt of plants,
Recording in progress.
Sorry.
okay. I feel you're gonna lose the impact of it, it's just gonna be this
Yeah.
bed of, Disneyland when you walk in, and it's just too much
And
information.
it might be like that the plants along the walk are gonna be really spilling over unless you're,
Constantly.
heading them back.
Yeah.
And I am concerned a little bit just about, people, I see this, people with their dogs, it's like, the way people use that space, there just needs some understanding of that too. But,
Yeah, I know they were out observing. Mike, I don't know if you can hit continue on that so it's not being shared with the universe. But
I'm not even seeing it on my screen.
oh, okay, well, it's on I thought I had it. Well, okay. But at the top of the drawing, if you can imagine if you know where the fountain is and you're looking northeasterly and there's those arborvitae there, and if you went out there tonight and you looked, there'd be a small little opening
Yeah.
just above where children go back in there. It's
Right.
like a cave.
Yeah.
And they've broken out all the branches.
yeah,
But that's going to be left there
Yeah.
for now. But those arborvitae could be replaced as well at some
Yeah.
point in the future. But for now, you talk about how it's used, Member Kerouac,
Yeah.
that's how it's used. It's a playground.
yeah.
So, say we did have all these plants donated, could we move some of them over to that area that's kind of open right now?
I don't think that was the request when the 125 committee went to them. It was to kind of complete this concept plan of this circle area.
Okay. Okay.
But if your question is if they did fewer materials inside the circle to replace those arborvitae, is that where you're going with that?
Yeah.
I can ask the question. Certainly happy to ask. I'm sure there's a phrase about that somewhere about asking a gift from a horse in the mouth.
Yeah, right.
Or looking
Yeah.
a gift horse in the mouth, rather.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
All right, well, you done, Matt? Is that it?
I'm done.
Yeah, okay, I agree with both Tim and Matt that there seems to be maybe too many plant materials. We have a pretty extensive garden, and we have most of these plants in there, and, when you plant a garden like this, for the instant impact, this stuff spreads, and some of it spreads where you don't want it to spread, so it's, but something that I'm sure they're aware of, but we've got two different hydrangeas here. Hydrangeas seem to be in this, right now, there's a disease going around. Yeah, I thought it was just our house, then it's our neighbor's house, and it's down the street, and then it's on Facebook, what's going on with the hydrangeas, it's a little worm. And
Yeah.
but now, we have 40-year-old hydrangeas, so this is not the hybrid, these are obviously hybrids. So I
Right.
don't know if that's gonna be an issue, but it's something that the landscape architect, I'm sure, knows about. Yeah, I would, my first thought was there's too much, my second thought was dogs. And, it's just, don't pack it in so that it looks like it's been there. I don't really have any qualms about the plant material selection, other than there's a lot of it. So
No,
that's.
that's easy enough, clear direction.
I have another question for you, Bob. Some time ago, we talked about putting a bicycle rack in this area. Is that out of the question now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
But on a related note, the village board at their most recent meeting talked about, or gave direction to complete the CBD streetscape conversation that you all started, that includes putting bike racks and other places in the CBD. So you will get another bite at that apple. That's coming back to you all.
Okay.
Good. 'Cause we're not done. So is that enough to go on, Drew?
Yes, sir. Perfect.
Think?
Understood.
I'm gonna throw something else out that's not really, it's not necessarily part of this project, but maybe it should be, or it's something. You know, as we talk about the Scranton Avenue, the dancers have to go someplace.
Right.
And, you know, at one point, I thought the dancers could go here, and, you know, that starts to get too crowded and it wouldn't fit there. I don't know if there's any place that they could look at in this vicinity where it would be appropriate to have them. And I'm just thinking out loud, this is not my decision, this is the garden club's, you know, to give the okay on whatever happens. But I think if there's an opportunity anywhere, let's take a look at it.
I don't know why that couldn't be part of the CBD planning conversation, right? That's,
Yeah, no, it
If
should.
there's a
because-
place- if there's a place for it,
Otherwise, they're
then-
gonna
yeah.
end up on, you know, with the foundation laying on outside of Public Works and
well, that won't, no.
so.
I think there's lots of opportunities. The village
Well,
has lots of.
it
yeah.
seemed like there might be one over here someplace, maybe off the sidewalk, over by the lamppost and the fire, I don't know. Anyway, other than that, yeah, I think, if you got enough on comments to go with it.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. We're not approving anything, we're just discussing, right?
Right, correct. So I can introduce the next item.
Okay.
Okay, so, for the landscaping in front of the, public safety building here, there'd been a problem with ponding water on the sidewalk to the entrance there because the grade had raised up over the years, and so we, put some new storm inlets in because we needed to repave the parking lot anyway. And, so with the addition of the new storm inlets, obviously we need to, replace some landscaping, there. And, we've got two versions, subtly different of a plan here. And I think for the most part on staff, we're leaning towards the first version with a couple alterations. You know, one thing we've noticed, having those small maple trees out of the sides of the entrance there is the visibility from the security cameras is better. And so we would like to keep it somewhat low in that area, which I think means something smaller than the trees shown there, the Korea maples. And I think also going with something smaller is helpful because then it doesn't need to be perfectly centered in the space and can be, you know, arranged a little more informally. And we were also thinking of maybe not doing the border there in boxwood along the sidewalk. The boxwood down in the lower left is existing. So with that, what are your thoughts?
Matt, you wanna go this time?
Nope. I
Okay.
defer to Tim.
Okay.
Why would I go in front of him?
I'll just make
Seems
a
really
comment.
silly.
I know.
Let me just make one comment that's funny, because there's not anybody that will remember this, but when we did the building, and it was just dirt out there, and the board said, well, what do you, or actually, it was Viva Schreiber, said, what are you thinking about for landscaping? And I said, you know, I was just thinking, Lake Bluff was pretty rough in those days. It wasn't as pristine as it is now. I said, I was just thinking about sort of really natural stuff. So she and David Ritter put that together, and it was very, I mean, it didn't require any maintenance. It was grasses, it was all, so nothing got tall. And it was that way, and then little by little, some of those things got invaded by other things, and pretty soon it's all gone. But that was the original intent. But again, Lake Bluff was a little bit shaggier than it is now. So I would that was just a little aside. Okay, you're on, Tim.
Okay. So I did notice where there were security cameras. I think there's one in this corner and maybe over here. So, yeah, obviously you don't want to block the security cameras because what's the point then, right?
Right, right.
So I'm not a huge fan, I guess, of the plant selection in general. Like the Stephanandra, it's mounding. It's really hard to weed stuff out of there. Stuff gets in, grows in there. You can't get leaves out. It's like really dense. And I know that the ones that are existing on the left-hand side, if you're looking at the building, I don't know. I've never really liked them. And then, the other stuff is, I'd rather see some native plants, some grasses, and then low stuff up by the front of the building again. But, it's just me. That's my opinion.
Which
okay.
plants don't you like?
I don't like Stephanandra.
So these in the yellow and green are the Stephanandra, so this is existing here, and she's proposing to
Okay.
match it on the other side.
I really don't like Wigelia. I don't know. I guess I'm just kind of like a plant snob a little bit, but
That's okay.
yeah. And the lily turf, I mean, it's okay, like in small sections, but that's a lot of it. Yeah.
Okay, Matt.
Yeah, my expertise stops at deferring to Tim on those type of comments, for sure. It is frustrating, not frustrating, but it seems like a missed opportunity to not have just more native plants. I just think in general, it'd be nice to have some
Yeah.
grasses, and I think that's a general comment. And then it's hard for me to know exactly how, they're so in here compact, I don't know what the 3-year plan is for these plants, how they want to truly be, and if this allows for them to be that way. So I just think there needs to be a little bit more diligence on what these plants actually require space-wise, and maybe this is perfect, but again, I'm always concerned about that.
I think this plan has them spaced out more
So this is
appropriately,
better, okay,
but,
yeah. Again, it's just pure plants, it just seems,
sometimes it's almost easier if you just take everything out there that's existing and just start over.
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah. I do like the option 1 versus the kind of the more linear option 2. I think if we just think about the form, so I agree with option 1.
Yeah,
Option 2 is a lot more maintenance.
Yeah, and the boxwood,
Yeah,
we've had some issues with the boxwood dying from the cold lately, so.
yep. And then, someone mentioned to me that some of these plants, how they interact with the sidewalk and that there is an issue with
The heat
the
and
plant roots, yeah.
salt runoff.
Right,
and-
yeah, so I think that needs to be taken into account a little bit.
Yeah.
Again, that's someone above my pay scale, but I know that's an issue with, certain plants.
So, Michael, you said that the boxwoods coming out from here are gonna go away?
Yeah,
Okay,
right.
okay, that just is too
Yeah,
much of a forming a street going into the crop
Right.
shop. So,
Right, yeah.
yeah, I could go, this is a little much more formal, even though it's not quite. But we could go with a little more natural approach, and probably mixing the two together if you can, whether it's, over here, there is no such thing as a natural approach. You got 35 guys parking their pickup trucks on Fire Night. That's about as natural as that gets. I would like to see the last edition have a little plant material along that bare brick wall. I've been talking about that for a long time.
Okay.
But anyway, here, over at this end, towards the Sally Port and at the end of the police station, it's kind of ground covery and it's under trees. And if somehow this just starts to meld together with some more formal plants, I think that would be maybe the best of both worlds. And in the median here, I don't remember what used to be there. There was a variety of things there. It doesn't show here.
Right.
And anything is tough to keep going there, I think.
Right, yeah, we weren't planning to make any changes there and leave what's there currently.
I don't
the
even know what's
details.
there
Yeah,
anymore.
I mean, there's some short trees. Are those hawthorns or crab apples? So one of those, there's some small trees there and there's a little bit under the trees.
Anyway, those are my thoughts, and they're somewhat non-definitive.
Okay.
Yeah, but I would agree to definitely keep it lower, like
Okay.
2.5 feet, 3 feet, maybe tops, but.
Yeah, okay, okay. Neil, did we get your comments, or can we get your comments?
No additional comments.
Okay.
What do you say?
No additional.
Additional comments. Okay, well, thanks, everybody, for your comments. That's great feedback. We'll pass it on to our landscape
Can
architect.
they deal with that?
Yeah, I'm sure she can.
I guess just, try to get some more native stuff in there
Right, yeah, yep.
would be helpful.
And I
Okay,
think that's a difficult, I mean, because it's trying to transition, like you talked about Village Hall is established, a little more formal, and how do you transition out of it? And how do you blend it elegantly, right? It's tough. And we're, same with the conversations, like even as you go into the Village Green, kind of as you
Yeah.
just move that direction, all that it's hard. It's hard, yeah.
it's hard, and you also have, now, not so much here. You're not gonna have people walking through it, and dogs walking around.
Right,
like
yeah.
they
Yeah.
built every place else.
Right, you're right. There's some level of respect for,
Yeah,
Fear.
Village Hall.
and the police station.
Yeah,
But also even, and Bob, you may know this, but even like the shape of the building with you were commenting about the certain plants that are kind of like collectors of leaves
Yes,
and hard to get
yeah.
out. Well, that area becomes kind of a whirlwind,
Yeah.
right? The way it goes
yeah.
in there.
oh, yeah.
Yeah, for
It's
sure.
fishing things out of there, so.
Yeah, I never liked Stephanandra for that reason. It would, everywhere the branch would touch the ground, it would root down. And it's just like tangle. Hard to maintain.
Yeah,
What
okay,
else?
well, thanks.
Is that enough, Drew, for,
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, what,
Yeah.
are we gonna see something else then, or?
well, I think
mean,
as far as the gift from Mariani, I think that's enough. It's a volume issue, right? That's easy enough, and give that, and I think we're done bringing this. I appreciate everybody's comments, and I'll deliver that information. And also, can we maybe consider some less here, more here, with the
Yeah.
arborvitae, and see if
Yeah.
we can work something out with that,
If not,
if possible, yeah. Over there, I mean, we tried to go with a different architect, the same landscape architect that designed Washington Park. I don't know if you visited that.
Yeah, she's good.
Yeah, and so give that a try, and again, it wasn't an easy task.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Yeah, understandable.
Again, good issues to have in the village.
right.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
yep.
Okay, so then, are we done?
Yep, I think we're done.
Then,
Someone
have
needs
to
to make a
adjourn.
motion.
I move to adjourn.
Second?
okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You ready to go, Neil?
Aye.
Okay, good.
Well, that was a quick one.
We're done.
All right,
Okay, meeting's adjourned.
thank you. Do you want these for?
No, I don't need it. I can take them.
Okay, I appreciate it.
Just if they're.